Welcome back, everybody, to Portland's bootleg magic we got going on here. We got the Fettuccine League tonight for you. The Utah Craze, hopefully it's going to get a little crazy, but versus the Portland Journey. We have me, Chaos Spike, in the booth with BostonBrotha, the legend, and the broadcaster Slum himself. How you doing, Boston?
I'm doing really good, Chaos. Excited to see what our fettuccine team has in store for us. Been doing a lot of ramen games, but it's nice to dig a little deep into the Portland team here and see who is on the rise, who is looking to make that jump up next year.
Yeah, I am super excited there. Just got a little sidetracked looking at some stats and who we're looking at. But yeah, like I was just filling you in prior to Boston, we got Cavuh, Aflamingtruck, and Bmillyy. Now, here's a little hidden piece of information, Boston. These guys come over from the Bmillyy Ducks. I brought these guys over. These guys have tons of experience. Bmillyy plays in the Academy League. That's a league below Aflamingtruck and Cavuh. They play in the Champ League one, but they're all a duck in some form. So should see a little bit of chemistry here, and I'm pretty excited to see how Bmillyy meshes in playing with the same league as these two.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what this lineup has in store for us. Cav and Truck being that 1-2 punch, like you mentioned, and Bmillyy gonna come in there, slot in as the third man, and see if he can be a good rotator and just do his job. Is all it seems like he has to do. Portland sitting at 2-0 this year, 6-1 record in game. Utah, the complete opposite for their book, 0-2. They have not won a single in-game match so far. So this should be an interesting series. Portland seems like the favorites, and hopefully they can continue their run here.
Yeah, Portland, a very strong start to the season, and for good reason. You know, they just have a really solid core here. Cavuh, Aflamingtruck, two players to look out for tonight. Then they got Slum, the guy broadcasting, so I figured he'd take a night off. But I'm also really interested to see what the Utah Craze can pull out. DBN, Killerbaird, and Sir also look pretty good on the stats sheet and names that I recognize. So we will see what happens as Portland trying to get going off the rip. Killer gonna put that one off the backboard, and good follow-up here by DBN. So a lot of life into these two teams right off the rip.
Yeah, pretty impressive there from DVN, looking for that aerial play, trying to get another touch off the sideball. And the pressure is on here early for Portland to get this ball out of their own half. But Killer keeping it in there, and a tough one to start off for the Journey.
Yeah, good touch there by DBN at the midfield, but couldn't follow it up, so an easy save by Aflamingtruck, making it look easy in the back line. Bmillyy, usually an Octane player, seeing him here in the Fennec. And this is the same guy, Boston, that me and you were helping a little while ago in replay, so it's going to be interesting to see the two mentors, seeing how his student is improving.
Yeah, gotta say, I was pretty impressed with him when we were watching those replays, doing a little bit of analysis, and hopefully he can take what he learned and put it into fruition in the game here.
Yeah, and speaking of him, he's right here doing a quick fake challenge. Good touch there by Truck. Hits Cavuh unintentionally or maybe calculated. Put the sunglasses on and say that. And this one upfield, this could be a little bit of a problem here, but all the Utah guys in one clump will make that a lot easier for Portland to deal with. Off the backboard, Cavuh up way early. Too early for him to read.
Yeah, maybe a little bit out of his repertoire there, Cavuh, but, you know, sometimes you just have to go out and try and make a play. Oh, a chance here for Aflamingtruck. Tries to get the dunk, but it's a great defensive attempt from Sir, and Utah able to clear it out.
So, as I said, these guys come from Bmillyy, and I was teammates with Cavuh and Aflamingtruck over in Bmillyy, and know a lot about these two guys. Cavuh, a very mechanical front man, and Aflamingtruck, probably one of the most solid middlemans you will find. This guy just always consistent, always good touches, maybe not the most mechanically and flashy player around, but he is one guy to count on to make the touches when they're needed. Cavuh, when he's feeling himself on the upper part of the field, he's going to go for those crazy pre-jumps. He's got the mechanics to work with. He's speedy. So if he's in the zone, you're going to look out. He's going to be popping off. And as I say that, a little bit of demos on the back line, and we are deadlocked at 0 still.
You know, I think Turbo Pulsa, one of the greatest Rocket League players ever to do it, is a prime example that you don't always have to be flashy. You just have to do the little things correct. And there it is, Cavuh doing one of those little things correctly, punishing a mistake here coming out from Utah. Just a miss hit on the clear. Cavuh just in the right spot, and he punishes, and Portland get the early lead.
Yeah, good angle on the first attempt by Cavuh. A little bit of tough one to try and slot though, and then he just picks up the rebound. But yeah, well said. And I think Truck really does remind me of a Turbo Pulse. He's always in the right spot, making just very consistent, solid touches. Where Cavuh, this guy, he peaks, and sometimes, when he's not feeling himself, it's just a different Cavuh on the field. But right now, I think we got the good one. As look at him go, beating everybody with a flick of the Bmillyy will get the insurance goal at 2:16 on the clock.
That's a great flick from Cavuh. I'm more impressed with his first touch, though, as it fell off from the ceiling. Hits his car, doesn't bounce, it just dies directly on his hood. The follow-up there coming for Portland, and it's 2-0.
Yeah, this is the redemption chapter for the Journey versus the Utah Craze right now. I mean, if anybody was here watching last night, the Macaroni guys, they fell pretty hard. The Utah Craze put a hammer down and really punished our boys. So the Fettuccine guys trying to come back and go full force here and, get back into the win column versus this Utah Craze.
Killerbaird off the backboard. Sir trying to get a touch there. Unfortunately, he misses, but the pressure maintains for Utah. Portland stuck in their own end a little bit here. Finally gets some boost, but Sir keeps the ball in the zone.
Yeah, Portland just trying to really stave off the possession game here. Look at this midfield pass. Bmillyy not able to make a touch here. Truck will still be last man, so he's just creeping, buying time, and he does well. But, Portland get a little tripped up on themselves in the back line here, Boston. That could create a problem, and it almost does. Big save by Cavuh.
Yeah, the worst thing that you can do, especially at this rank, is cut off your teammates. We saw a triple commit there coming from Portland. Fortunately, it was only in the corner, so nothing bad came of it. But, you got to try and limit those mistakes. And so far, they were doing a good job, but they just can't get those habits going. And Aflamingtruck from the sky, a great pass coming here from Cavuh, and Portland takes the 3-goal lead.
Hey, we talked about this pre-game, remember, the 1-2 punch that we will be looking out for is Truck and Cavuh. So much chemistry here, and Bmillyy still fitting in and feeling it where he plays in this roster, but Cavuh finding Truck beautifully there. They just know where each other is on the field, and that comes with just playing with the same people for a while, Boston, when you play with Horse, you don't even got to look where he is on the field, you just know he's to your left, right, whatever it is, and it's just smooth as butter.
Oh man, it's so much fun playing with Horse. We just have such a great understanding, like you mentioned. There are times where he'll throw a pass down my way, and before I'm even up for it, he'll say, "That's just in." And most of the times it is. So it's so nice to be able to play consistently with the same person over and over again. And these guys, like you mentioned, playing on the Ducks, they got that quack power going on, as Spike mentions in the chat. So really good for them moving forward.
Yeah, we got a nickname for these guys. I gave them a role in the Discord. They are the Pojo Ducks for the Portland Journey Ducks, and there's a lot of us here in Portland. I mean, me, Spotty, Cav, Truck, King Duff potentially making a comeback. No spoiler alert or anything, but quick boost grab here, and game one looking pretty solid from these guys here, Boston. They came out to play with their hearts on the line, and that is a big game one dub here to get the momentum swinging into game two.
Yeah, it was a great game from Portland, but for Utah, I didn't feel like they did anything wrong necessarily. It was more so what they didn't do. They didn't create, a lot of quality chances. Every single shot it looks like was saved from Portland, except for one. So Utah going into this next game, they need to start creating those infield passing plays, maybe some more bump plays, anything to try and break through this Portland defense.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of hit the nail on the head there. These guys talking to me and thinking they're being all secret, but check and see everything they say. But, Portland played pretty solid. I think Utah played pretty solid as well. And I'm curious to see how they will adapt going in the game, too, as, it was just a lot of team-oriented stuff coming out there by Portland, whereas maybe Utah, more of a solo effort on a lot of their stuff and not able to get those midfield passing plays and looking for each other. So maybe if they just open up the midfield a little bit, they will get some of this going on. But Utah will look to strike back and even out the series. Portland will look to move this on to match point. So, I don't know, any predictions coming in here to game two, Boston?
I'm thinking Portland takes this one again, just based off what we saw from that first game, the lack of scoring chances coming from Utah. And I think, and we talked about this pregame, if Bmillyy can slot in as that third man, just like he did in game number one, this team is going to be unstoppable.
Yep, definitely looked strong in game one, and very excited as try and get these guys to join up right away. They do not need our queue to join. But yeah, let's see
Sometimes
if the
takes a minute.
craze. Yeah, we call that input lag, but that is not the
Yeah.
controller; it is the brain. So 5 minutes on the clock here. Game two, Utah looking to strike back strong. DBM will try to get it going on that kickoff. Cavuh will put it to the mid wall, and look at this, sir, looking faster already. And go for a little fancy double there, but couldn't get the read down on it.
Great clear from Cavuh. Truck trying to read that. If he does, that's incredible. What a shot coming out from Truck. The pass from Cavuh. Look how early he was up for this. Oh my, what a read. I don't even think I could do that one.
The quackistry coming out there. We talked about, these guys just know where they are on the field and sometimes feel a little bit ambitious pushing up, but maybe they called it. We don't know. And that's kind of the exciting thing when you look at Fettuccine and Mac play. You don't expect maybe someone to be already in certain spots. And, sometimes it pays off and looks crazy. And other times you get punished for some of the rotations you do. So it's, oh, look at this beat by Aflamingtruck to give them an assurance goal. And not even 30 seconds of pass, Boston. And they are already up 2-0.
Well, you can tell Truck is just feeling himself right now. Quickly up for that ball. Looked like he hit it with his back end and he slots it to the left side. No one home for Utah and the early 2-goal lead for the journey.
And they will look to continue as Cavs up, trying to read this midfield touch off the kickoff. Truck gonna try and slow it down, but Sir doesn't want anything to do with that. Trying to put the fire extinguishers on these flaming journeys right now. Cav trying to get a touch of mid. No one's there, though. And a little bit of panic from Utah, perhaps, as, nobody was there, and you see the panic jump when he really could have controlled that one, perhaps.
Looked like Cavuh might have gotten a bump on DBN, and that's why he wasn't able to control it. But there was a little bit of panic, like you mentioned afterwards. A great shot from Cavuh coming out here, and that's 3.
Yeah, Cav starting to flex his left bicep there and telling Truck, you don't need to do it all yourself. I will get out of the backpack and do a little quack pack here real quick. But, he'll jump straight back in the backpack of Truck and let him move along as Portland move up 3-0.
And that was one of the more glaring defensive mistakes I saw coming out of Utah. Sir with just a really bad clear over to the side. Doesn't get enough on it, doesn't get far enough over, and a great punish there from Portland.
Yeah, and not even half this game has passed, and it feels like so much has passed because it's 3-0 already. But Portland again just really doing a good job at controlling possession in the attacking third right now. Bmillyy getting in on the plays here, hands off the Cavuh down in front, and Aflamingtruck just missing Cav's pass by a hair. Good pinch clear by Utah here, and DBM will send it across, and now they're just kind of bouncing it back and forth in the Portland end, but not really making good use of the possession they had.
It didn't look like that was Truck's ball to go for, but when you're feeling it like he is right now, you kind of tell everyone to get out of the way. I'm coming through. So he definitely thought he had a chance there. And Bmillyy with the shot tries to slot it upper 90, unable to do so. But Portland keeping up the pressure.
You just reminded me of an anime I watched one time. I'm going to throw my inner weave a little bit here, but it's called Korokoro's Basketball. And sometimes the players in that anime will get in the zone, and they'd explain what the zone is, and the lightning would be coming off their eyes, and they're just playing on a different level. And that's what I think of when people are just peeking in the zone. And Rocket League, as I say that, Sir is going to try and shut down this Portland offense a little bit. But I think that's what's going on with Truck right now. He is just feeling it. He's got the G fuel pumping in the veins, and he is on another level right now.
Yeah, he's definitely feeling it, but DBN was feeling it on that air carry. It looked like Cavuh was initially gonna get a really good clear, but then DBN just dunks him, and Bmillyy came up too far, not trusting his teammate, but it doesn't matter because Truck says, we take that one right back.
Oh, not Flaming Duck. No, it's a Flaming Truck right now. And he just picked up a hat trick with a little bit of a help of a misfortunate defensive play in front of the net there. So Portland 4-1, and we are still approaching half the game past, but we haven't met it yet.
Yeah, that was just really unfortunate for Utah. They kind of did that one to themselves, and unlike in game number 1 where it seemed like Portland beat them, they're beating themselves here in this second game, and they got to turn it around with only half the game left to go. Maybe a chance here for DBN.
Yeah, let's see how Bmillyy does under pressure. Good half flip to recover and realize he was the last man. Maybe pushed up a bit too far, but a great recovery and game sense to know that he had to get back. And, Aflamingtruck, he's just really rubbing salt in the wounds here, going for an unnecessary demo, maybe to get under the skin, perhaps, as Bmillyy got the spinning. He's feeling it too. Can't finish it off, but Truck will try to slot it with the lock from Killerbaird, and that one straight in.
Listen, I'm telling you, and I say this to almost everyone I play with, the best goals in Rocket League come off of own goals. A great redirect there coming out from Killerbaird. Unfortunately, it is into the wrong net, and a 4-goal lead here for Portland.
Yeah, this is just going to really test the mental state of Utah, the vitality that they have. Can they redeem themselves and just push through this at game 3? Because right now it's looking like, the nails are... I mean, it's not impossible. We got a minute and 45 seconds on the clock, but they really got to change what they're doing right now if they're going to come back here in game 2. But, it might be time to start thinking about game 3 of what they can do.
I think when you've watched enough Rocket League as I have, you can kind of get a feel for who's going to win a series and who's not. And unless Utah takes a complete 180 with their tactics and their style of play right now, I think one's pretty much all but over.
And as we say that, Killer looking to get some momentum shifting his way. I'm not exactly sure what happened here. 2 in the corner, and it was a pinch at the near post, and Bmillyy didn't stand a chance. He was pretty much back, and he still didn't have time to get back. That's how fast that pinched out. So unfortunate for Portland, and, a great pinch going the way Utah needed to catch a break here to maybe get them back into the right momentum swing.
Yeah, that was a classic caster's curse goal. I'm going to hit the wood on my desk here and make sure I didn't change the mojo for Portland. But, hey, sometimes you need things to fall your way when nothing else is going right, and maybe that's the opportunity that Utah can take and try and swing the series around.
55 seconds left on the clock here. 5-2 Portland. Let's take a look at the stats here. Utah shooting 2 for 5 here. 3 shots for Killer, 2 for DBN. And Aflamingtruck has 5 himself to match Utah. And then 3 more from the other 2 journeys. So 8 shots to 5 in total. So very good on the shooting percentage here for Portland. Shooting 5 for 8 in total. And, this has just been a really solid showing for them here. And they're showing that they can, Bmillyy, a fresh pickup, as I said before, and the bottom salary to run in this lineup, and it's looking pretty solid.
It's kind of funny if we go back to yesterday's ramen game. Great shot there coming out from DBN. Good follow-up. But it was Deluxe in that game number 2, same as here, who had, I think it was 5 goals on 6 shots, and Aflamingtruck 4 goals on 5 shots. The bad defense coming out from both sides, just like in that game, but sometimes you only need that one man to pop off in order to be the difference maker.
Yeah, and, Utah really doing some of the good stuff here to try and get themselves back into the mindset for the next game. They scored a couple to get the momentum shifting. This game's still looking like it's going to be a dub for Portland, but they got themselves in the right spot doing the right things, maybe figuring out this Portland squad coming into game 3. So Portland's going to have to not take them lightly if they want the sweep. They're going to have to be careful, as they almost slot a 4th goal here at the end, and that would have been a hairy situation, but they built themselves enough cushion for the pushing.
I think I had to have a talk with all these Portland captains. I want to know what they're feeding to their players in pre-match games, because they are scoring goals at ridiculous rates. However, the defense is lacking, and you're kind of seeing it across the board. So if there's one thing that I want to see change for this Portland team going into game number 3, it would be the defense. You have to have solid rotations on the back end, and you have to trust your teammates. Limit the double commits, and just have faith in one another, and you're going to see that those save numbers are going to rise, and the goals for the other team are going to drop.
Yeah, I mean, we saw the goal onslaught for Robin. Like you said, the defense a little bit shaky at times, but their offense is what really got them through it and got them the victories in the end. And that's what we're seeing here from the Fettuccine League. And, MAC League also struggled with that in the previous night. And interesting statistic here as well. Drop some more hot facts on everybody watching. If Fettuccine wins tonight, that would make every Portland league winning this week except the MAC League team. That feels bad. If they would have won every single one, Ramen won all their games, NCS won all theirs, Fettuccine potentially winning this one as well. So what a hot week it is in general to be a Portland fan.
Yeah, coming from when I've started playing with Portland to now, it just seems like all of the teams outside of, Ramen and NCS are starting to pull their weight, and you're starting to see it this season especially. So it's really good to know that this Portland team, this Portland organization has some really good quality players coming up.
Oh, and that is a near miss and a huge demo on the back line. But no, this is the problem with certain demos like this. You got to be careful. There's good demos and bad demos here. And this one, swipes it and gets a touch and then jukes his teammate like he's a Portland member. You know what I call that? The Phantom Fourth throwing in some help.
But you know what? All the credit there to Bmillyy, recognizing the missed touch coming out from DBN and just capitalizing on the mistake, doing the little things right will not only win you games, but they will win you series, they will win you championships. So it's really good to see from him a positive sign for his development.
Yes, indeed. Looking through the smoke and everything, and DBN really feel himself up early for that one. Could not get it, though, as that he really had to break his back to even try and get close to that one. Aflamingtruck gonna go for solo. A little bit of help from Bmillyy, trying to be a nuisance from down below. Cavuh gonna try and slow this one down. He's got all the boost in the world, but the 50 will go behind, but Bmillyy in for some help. So Cavuh's going for the cheat and grabs them, but Portland could not get a shot on net.
Bmillyy needed a little bit more patience there. He had the open net. It was a great play from Portland, and unfortunate really not to score there. Just needed to wait on that a little bit longer, but it doesn't matter because Cavuh says, I got this one.
What a goal coming in here, and nothing feels better than the assurance goal. You're up 1-0, and nerves are on edge when you're playing at that level. I mean, the NCS team that I just played in earlier, we had a 1-0 and 2-0 game, and when you're winning 1-0, anything can happen. Just a bad touch, a bad 50. So it feels good to get that insurance goal so the nerves can settle a little bit. But you also don't want to get too comfortable, and they're not going to. Aflamingtruck coming out of a flaming nowheres, burying that one to make it 3-0.
I'll tell you what. Utah are beating themselves, not only in this game, but in this series. On that last goal, it looked like it was just a pass middle instead of a clear out to the side, like they're playing for the wrong team. But no one just going for the ball, no one challenging. Utah needs to be faster, both offensively and defensively. The rotations aren't there. Everything's falling apart. And like we mentioned yesterday, when it goes wrong, it all goes wrong.
Great patience, I got to point out, by Bmillyy, just sitting back post and just letting them shoot at the net where he is sitting patiently to touch it out and no panic, and tries to follow up his second touch there. Big shot off the back where huge read perhaps. No, he's going to fake it out for DB, but DB cannot turn just yet. But now he will, beating one. This could be something to work with, but Aflamingtruck going to tuck it under one. Killer 50 into the corner. Cavuh will try and get out of the end here as he misjudges that one by hair, and Bmillyy getting a little bit tangled up in the corner with him.
Yeah, I'll put the blame on Cavuh for that one. Once you make a miss hit, you can't put your car in reverse. You can't do that to your teammates. You can't slow down like that. The rotation is so important, and when you put yourself in a reverse position, you're cutting off the man behind you, and it's just kind of like a backlog, and there's just this cluster that forms, and it creates confusion, and that's exactly what we saw there.
Yeah, this Rocket League game does not have a put it in reverse Terry mode. That's not what you want to do, but Bmillyy got to pick up a fourth goal here, and Portland just really pushing for the sweep here to keep this Fettuccine League's just push for the playoffs so clean and so precise.
And Killerbaird had that save, but he just drove off of the side post, and it created enough confusion for him that he panicked and was unable to clear the ball away. I mean, it is just all going wrong for Utah in this one, and I expect them to have a long, hard talk after this game to figure out what needs to be changed moving forward for their team.
Portland just really being a nuisance here. They demoed one guy, so he respawned back, and they had two deep in the end. So Truck just driving ahead, really getting under the skin and trying to open up that net. Cavuh will finish it all off. A dangerous play that could backfire in a hurry. But I mean, when you're winning 4-0, that is just really pushing on the tilt factor from the other team, and just just demoralizing as well. So Portland really showing no mercy here.
Yeah, and Sully just mentioned it in the chat. Great debut here from Bmillyy. He showed off his dribbling skills on that one. Created a lot of pressure, a lot of confusion on the Utah goal line. And then Cavuh was just able to slot it home, following up his teammate. Portland's doing all the little things right, and Utah needs to start taking a page out of their book.
Yeah, big 50 going to be sent into the corner. But again, Utah just giving all the space in the world here to Portland. And Killer eventually going to dive on it, but it just doesn't create anything as it was a little bit too late here. And they leave one man back, and this could create a problem. But Bmillyy going to cross that one over. DB trying to speed things up. You know, got to give him kudos for the cosmetics here. Got the nice blue Dracos matching that blue Fennec. So looking pretty flashy, and I expect a little bit more of someone wearing the Draco. So let's see you get something here, DB, as he crosses that one to Killer, but there's no way he's going to be able to slot that one, unfortunately.
Yeah, you can go flashy car and lose, or you can go Stockton and win. I don't know. Which one would you prefer, Chaos?
Yeah, I mean, that seems to be the meta, right? Stockton or, you know, the Dominus. That is where you got to be. And look at the shot off the near post, just barely in. That placement, just smooth as butter.
Yeah, just another bad clear from Sir. Great pressure from Bmillyy, and once again, Cavuh there to follow up his teammate. And they can do no wrong right now, Portland.
Yeah, 33 seconds left, 6-0. Really stacking up the goal differential and perhaps trying to make it, you know, the goal differential does matter here in case tiebreakers ever come around. So some people might be like, okay, you know, a little bit toxic to be running away with it. But, you know, these stats actually do come into factor later on if you tie a team in your division or conference. So you can't really just be like, oh, they're being toxic, stacking up the goals. They are just feeling themselves and doing what they are doing best right now, and that is winning.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what I was impressed with for Portland in this game especially was the defense. They really started playing better defensively on the back end. Their rotations were solid. They were following each other up, and we saw some really good saves. But this will do it for us tonight. That is a 3-0 sweep for the journey. And if you've got a feel for Utah, they are now 0-9 in game, 0-3 on the season for their record. They have to try and make some changes and switch it up moving forward.
Yeah, these games are so crucial as we are in divisionary play right now for the Fettuccine and Mac League. So right now they're running through the divisions, and when you play your rivals, every win sets the other team back almost 2 games because they how the win-loss ratio works. So huge win versus Utah, and like you said, Utah is in a bit of a tough spot right now. Kind of like. Right now is the time to really patch up the holes on the ship and make the transactions you need to do to fix your team. So hopefully Utah can make the right work to kind of put their ship back on track there. But as you said, that's going to end off tonight's broadcast. It was a quick one. The Fettuccine guys put the brooms in the back of their trunks and did it all. So I was Chaos Spike, and I had the Boston brother, the legend, with me. Thanks for watching.